playing a little injured. I couldn't go yesterday. It was a game time decision today. I'm here. Sorry for the hold up. We got some news, guys. We got some news before, hey, even before the playoffs is over, if you will. We got some news. It's moving things, in the right direction, kind of swimmingly, if you will. But with that being said, this your guy Nix as always. Mary Ella with me, Spoonie, the Stargate crew as always. How's your week been so far? Y'all know how mine is. I'm over here checking this daggum Theraflu. I know I'm
busy,
horrible
man.
too. I'm sorry. I know. I saw your tweet. I saw your tweet there, and you said finally.
Yeah, I mean, I came up for air, so I'm feeling a little better, but I'm still like I'm in meetings every day this week. It's insane.
No doubt. Spoonie, I know you was doing a little double work. You had a little 4QQ action going, and you was able to make it over here in time. What's going on your way, brother?
Oh, yeah,
you've been sick too, though. Hell.
Yeah, listen, Cowboys love over here. End of the day, I was sick for since last week. I ate something, I guess, from one of these restaurants, and I wasn't right. I shed about 10 pounds, which is great, but I was hoping for that 6-pack. They didn't give me the 6-pack. Just happy just to be here, man.
Yeah, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Man, I'm telling you, I was, yesterday we were talking back and forth, and I was like, all right, guys, all right. We're kind of breaking up what we're going to do on the show and everything, and slowly but surely I just descended into, oh, shit, I'm sick. I was like, no.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, yeah, I know I sound terrible today, too. But hey, look, man, I got a little warm coffee in the cup here. I got a little water over that way.
See, there you go. Never surrender. There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep grinding on this stuff. I mean, I got to work tomorrow either way. It is what it is. But yeah, we are here. And with us being here, what's going on? We got EJ in the building. What's going on, little bro? Good to see you tuning in. Nelson as well. Victoria Towers in the Trower, excuse me. Sorry, fam. And of course, Elazar Mendoza, my guy Hall's in the building too. What's going on? Give it a like, give it a share as always. Get it on Twitter. The whole night. Let's build it up when we get into this. Or as we get into this thing. All right, Dan Quinn, y'all. Dan Quinn. How we feeling? How we feeling about Dan Quinn being announced as the DC?
I think it's fine. I mean, I'm not like super stoked. I'm not super disappointed. I do think we upgraded, and I'm excited to see. My main thing is upgrading the personnel.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't really matter what you do with the coaches. You gotta give them some players involved. Smooney, what you think? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm excited. I know for the last couple of shows we kept on asking who may be the guy next, and Dan Quinn was the name I kept on mentioning. I'm excited. Dan Quinn. Basically, we all know we're going to run the same type of defense. We ran pretty much with Chris Richard, who worked under Dan Quinn during the Legion of Boom era. And listen, we also get a defensive coach who also took his team to a championship as a head coach. We're going to get a guy who will be in their faces and not in the booth, way up high, have to come down. And I really do think this is a great match. As long as the Cowboys bring him some good players on the defensive side, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I don't know what because we've seen this on social media, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, wherever you're kind of in the nooks and crannies, these different groups and everything. Some people are like, all right, cool. Some people are like, oh, I hate it. And I think as we kind of told everybody, we kind of expressed like, look, this wasn't going to be a young gun kind of hire, right? This wasn't going to be a shiny new toy. Oh, he was on the up and coming. We kind of told y'all, if y'all paid attention, and we said, hey, this is going to be a guy to come in and fix it. It's going to be an established guy that's been in the league, right? That's what's going to happen. And I thought maybe Marvin Lewis. We talked about Dan Quinn being in that realm, but we kind of had those Gus Bradley even. It was going to be those kind of guys that was going to come in here that they were going to hire. This wasn't going to be, this secondary coach from the Rams who's hot right now, or this college coach that is up and on the rise in his defense. It wasn't going to be that kind of hire. No difference than, the head coach that we hired in Mike McCarthy was the guy to come in and get us over the hump. We wasn't trying to rebuild, start over, get a new quarterback, and marriage them together. It was get us over the hump. And this is kind of the same thing with this defensive hire with Dan Quinn. What it boils down to is they got a guy to come in who's been established. As you talked about, Spoonie, he did get the Falcons to a Super Bowl. And let's be clear, the last time that he was a defensive coordinator, the last 2 years, he was a defensive coordinator. Both of those teams that he was a defensive coordinator for went to Super Bowls. Now, I get it. There's a lot of people talking about, the defense wasn't good in Atlanta, this, that, and the third, whatever. They gave up leads, whatever. That's a cumulative effort, one. Then also the same token, some guys are just better coordinators than they are head coaches. We've seen it like a Todd Bowles, for instance. He was a better coordinator than he was a head coach. We've seen this with a multitude of different coaches before. So let's not throw those that say it's a terrible hire. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. And for those that think this is the missing piece and this is going to put us over the hump, I'd say, well, put the old anointing oil away. I think this is a good, solid hire. It matches up with the personnel that we have on this roster. It doesn't cause us to have to go out here and do a whole bunch, of things to switch to a 3-4, provided that we're going to say this 4-3 under, and have to mix, match, and do. Your needs are basically the same. You needed a D tackle, you needed a one tech, right? And you need a rangy free safety. Those are the big two things that you're going to need. So, like for me, I propose that here we'll ask everybody to, and I'll ask y'all as well. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the most terrible hire of all time, and 10 being, oh my God, we're going to the Super Bowl, where are you at on a scale of 1 to 10 with this hire of Dan Quinn?
For me, I think I'm probably at like a 6-ish, 6 or 7. Like I said, I'm not like absolutely enamored, but I don't hate it either. And I'm glad the lunatic in the comments, he brought this up because I was actually going to mention this. Atlanta, the way they spend on offense versus defense reminds me a lot of the Cowboys. I mean, if you look at their defense this past year, there was a lot of injuries. There wasn't a pass rush. There was a lot of young guys because they didn't spend a lot of money there. And same thing with the Cowboys is we traditionally don't spend, or most recently haven't spent a lot of money or resources into our defense. So that's why I think it's super important to actually invest in personnel through the draft and free agency to get guys that can actually produce. I mean, because we talked. I mean, a lot of fans were so mad at Mike Nolan, rightfully so. But at the end of the day, we didn't have a lot of our players just weren't up to standards when they needed to be. Now we had Dontari Poe that was getting pushed around. We had Xavier Woods who was taking plays off, who was getting beat all the time. We had Everson Griffin who wasn't doing well. I mean, our linebacker struggled. So it's a combination of so many things. And so personnel definitely matters just as much as having a new defensive coordinator does.
Right. Spoonie?
I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay. 8, right on point when I threw Donald Weaver up here. Y'all both agree at an 8. Fair enough.
Big gang right there. All right. I'm giving it an 8. End of the day, when you look at what we have already, I really in the last couple of shows I predicted we might be going 3-4. We didn't. We're going to be on the 4-3 team, which pretty much is you control your gaps, and you control your gaps. You pressure the quarterback, and it helps you stop the run. This defense it started out with the Nebraska Huskers in college from 1970 under Monty Kiffin. A lot of great successive teams who have run the same type of scheme have done well, and you can see the Legion of Boom, they had the right personnel. You had the size on our defense, between the defensive line to the linebackers to the safeties and to the corners. The one thing that he didn't have in Atlanta, which he has with the Cowboys, is that you have size on the linebacker part. Which you have LVE, who's about 6'5". You got Jalen Smith, who's about 6'3". So you have size and linebackers. In the secondary, Diggs is great draft pick for him. Why? Because he's going to thrive well in this type of defense. So you got to add pieces. And the one thing they didn't do right, they didn't give Miss Mariella her wish. She asked for a fatty. I mean, they got us some fatties, but it's not the fatty that we want. So now that he's here, you have to make that priority. And they didn't get what I wanted. I never get what I want. I wanted a safety. I mean, we got Donovan Wilson, but now we know they have to get them some free safety. So we have a proven coach who has won in this league. It's gonna say, Steven, listen. I want to get what Miss Mariella wanted, that fatty, and I want to get what Spoonie wanted, that safety. Match made in heaven.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they tried the fatties, right? The Poes, the McCoys, the Gallimores, you had Hill, and then the fatties got hurt and got cut. It didn't pan out. But those fatties, Poe was going to be that true one tech, so it didn't work out. We got to find that one tech. That one tech definitely has to be found this offseason. And we need that rangy free safety. I think we found our quote-unquote Kim Chancellor, if you will, and Donovan Wilson to come down closer to that box and how they run that. But on the same token, what you got to find is you got to have a guy that's rangy. So, yeah, I'm sure they're going to let him go do a little bit of shopping. It'll be interesting to see how we kind of saw the change of philosophy in free agency last year, where that heads into this year. For me, Dan Quinn, I put it at about a 7. Is where I'm at with Dan Quinn on the scale of 1 to 10. I'm about a 7. I'm like, it's par for the course. Mm-hmm. It's a guy that he has pelts on the wall. He's been in the league. He's done things. Now we could talk about acquiring talent versus him being able to coach talent, and those questions are absolutely fair. But what we know is if he does have the talent, it looks like his system and what he brings and how he calls plays does work. So that's exciting on that front. And you talk about some of those guys that we got in the draft last year, the Diggs, the Gallimores. To feed into this, obviously we got a little ways to go and we got to do some more things with that. But what I asked for, we talked about the end of the year show, guys, was, hey, I want clear-cut conciseness from this front office. Let's figure out where we're going and let's get there. And we're not even midway through January. We have a new defensive coordinator. We know what system we're running, right? So we're clear on that now. We know how to attack free agency, how to go and attack the draft from the defensive side of the ball. Now just go get my guy Dex signed. And things can really begin to open up. So far, the front office is handling business the right way. But for me, like I said, it gives me a 7. I give Dan Quinn hiring a 7. Sure, I would like to see Marvin Lewis walk through the door. He's got a cushy job, though, right now. So I can't blame him for not coming. And now we're kind of getting into some of these other interviews that happened before kind of Quinn came into town. He did the Zoom interview that he came into town, and that was, now this is a FOM, friend of Mike's, friend of McCarthy's, but he was also on Dan Quinn's staff as well, and that's Joe Whitt Jr., the secondary coach and passing game coordinator, who's also signed on. Kind of a big get. I mean, obviously he could have kind of stayed and played it out. He had some time left on his contract in Atlanta. Obviously got to find a coach. He kind of took a lateral move here. But he spent almost 10 years, I believe it is, with Mike McCarthy up in Green Bay. He spent some years over here with Quinn, so it meshes and works within the building. And, for me, one of the things I look at when I talk about Whitt, go back to Green Bay and some of the guys that he was able to develop into, Pro Bowlers. We're talking about Sam Shields, right? And I think that bodes well from and the thing that he's kind of touted for is being a really good teacher, right? We kind of heard this the last year, like these guys aren't very good teachers, is what we kind of heard rumbling around in the building, whatever, as compared to these guys who seem to be on the surface and known around the league. I mean, Spoonie, right? You even tweeted at Charles Woodson about Whitt and got the right, and he gave a glowing review of Joe Whitt Jr.
Right. Yeah. Listen. End of the day, when you get that respect, listen, I get it that sometimes when we see an unfamiliar name, who's that guy X, Y, and Z. For me, it matters most of how the players, the other coaches feel about him. And at the end of the day, BJ, you hit on the head with the guys that he had came out and he coached, and he turned Charles Woodson to a Pro Bowl safety. Charles Woodson did not play safety with the Raiders. He played safety with Green Bay. And it was a lot of things that he taught Charles Woodson how to do, especially at that older age that he was in. End of the day, that's something that we want with this team. We have a guy in Donovan Wilson. We have a guy in Trayvon Diggs. those guys could get so much out of Joe Whitt. Hell, he may turn them into all pros. We never know, but those are the type of guys you want to put on this team. The difference is this: we're getting more proven coaches instead of maybe former players who hasn't coached too long and things of that nature. We're getting some proven guys who have been in that spotlight of hosting the Lombardi Trophy, winning the Lombardi Trophy, and that's what we need for this team. And I like the hire.
And Miss Mary.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of fans kind of, complaining about it because of how the Falcons looked this past season. But
right.
I mean, if you're looking at everything, it's not just about the ranking. It's about, they had no pass rush. They had a lot of, they had a lot of the similar issues that the Cowboys had and injuries and things like that. So, I mean, you can't really officially judge without looking at the whole picture of that. But, in 2019, the Browns, he was with the Browns, 7th best passing defense in the NFL. I think the year before that, when he was still with Green Bay, they were like 12th. So, I mean, that's right around where we need to be. I mean, this defense is bottom of the barrel of the league right now, ended the season bottom of the barrel, despite, our late surge. And all we need them to be is like 15 to 20 if our offense is still going to put up 40 points. So, I mean, if we can make that jump, that improvement with, Joe Whitt Jr. and, if I'm not sure, was it official with Gus Bradley? Gus Bradley, I think he interviewed, but it's not official yet.
He's not. Yeah, he kind of interviewed. And they talked, and then Giff, and then they had who was it? Giff Smith, the defensive line coach, which we'll talk about here in a second, who interviewed as well, former, and he used to coach under Gus. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think with him and then with Dan Quinn, Joe Whitt Jr., I mean, I think, with the right personnel, with the right offseason moves, that we could definitely build off this momentum and get to 15 to 20 at the beginning of the season.
Awesome. Yeah, let's jump to a couple questions because I do have something else about this coaching staff I want to ask you all about as well too. Real quick, we got from Alan. Will we bring back Gerald McCoy and add Thomas or Simmons at safety? Mary?
I think it's looking more slim for Gerald McCoy. Mostly because I mean when you change staff, we've changed staff already, so. You don't know what he's looking for, what he wants.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you think the Steven and Gerald McCoy wink, they'll ever want to cut you, bring you back, might be out the door now?
Yeah, I mean, and then you've also got guys that are coming up for free agency that you might think are better prospects as well. And then obviously Earl Thomas, I think if you wanted Earl Thomas, you could have had him already. Like it should not even, to me, it's not even worth discussing anymore. They could have had Earl Thomas, and they didn't even bring him in. As far as we know, they didn't talk to him, so it's not going to happen. I would be interested in Simmons or Marcus May, definitely.
Yeah, if Steven's going to open up the old pocketbook for Simmons, you already know where I'm at with Simmons. Spoonie, what you think? McCoy coming back, Thomas, Simmons, what you think?
Oh, man, I mean, you know how excited I'll get with Simmons. I'm with Mary. Mary hit on the head with McCoy. It's looking slimmer. I don't think we'll get McCoy back, but I would love Simmons. I'm gonna, you know what? You guys got me. I'm not gonna do that this year. I'm gonna say no. We're not getting Simmons because every time I say something, and no, we're not getting Simmons. I want Simmons. I really do. Listen, he is the size, but 6'2", 6'3" is safety. Listen, you could put Donovan Wilson in the box. Have him freelance in that secondary. I would love it. I would want that. But you know what? It's not going to happen. So I'm going to say no. How you say, Maddie? 0.0%.
Hey, you know what? You know what could help that percent? Have y'all seen my new Twitter name?
I have seen it. I have seen the new Twitter name. So we're starting. Changed a little bit. It was I missed that. I'm sorry. It was I missed that. Now it's well, never mind. Another story for another time. But here's what I think. I think we'll find out really
Oh,
quick
man.
if Steven really wants McCoy back, he'll be back, is what I think. I reported and talked about this as soon as they cut him. This was a week kind of deal when they released him to free up some cap, and they had a deal, kind of a handshake deal in place to bring him back. Now with the new defensive coordinator coming on, does that change? Time will tell on that. I think, I thought the Earl Thomas thing was water underneath the bridge. However, whenever you have his former defensive coordinator, who, maybe the rest of the coaching staff and whatnot was kind of on this, I don't know what's going on. We don't really know the guy. There's too much happening. But if the defensive coordinator comes in and says, hey, look, I'm going to put him back in his system that he likes. I know this guy. It's all good. Then I think things can change. And, we're not going to go get a Simmons because Steven's not going to open up the pocketbook. But Cowboys, the majority of Cowboys, they should be like, oh, my God, we got Earl. And that would be more than enough for Cowboys Nation to be like, yes, we got a free safety and feel good about it. So I think look, between the two, Earl Thomas and Simmons, I'm going to give a higher chance of Earl Thomas being here with drafting a young guy behind him than I'm going to put on Simmons coming here and signing via free agency is where I'm at. But again, the defensive coordinator is the only reason why
That makes sense.
I'll put some stock into Earl Thomas possibly being on this roster next year. If it was Marvin Lewis or any other defensive coordinator that had no history with Earl, pull that out. But I think the door kind of reopens with it being Dan Quinn at DC.
Well, real quick, BJ. Did you guys hear the story about Earl Thomas today?
Oh, you got you got put out. Gabrielle put you out there.
Yeah, it's like right here.
What you got?
His wife said that he punched the window of a parent's car on December after Christmas.
That'll be long. That'll be history come March, April. Right. Don't worry. Yeah, no, that's going to come and go. That's going to come and go. We also got a question. We also got a question here from the Lunatic before we get into something else. Since Dan Quinn was a defensive line position coach before he became a DC, do you think that will be his first priority in Dallas? I think it should. I mean, yes, I think one tech needs to be the priority. Even I'm gonna go on a stretch even more so than the free safety. I think the D tech. Because if we can't stop the run, it doesn't really matter what we can do on the back end, guys. And we got to be able to stop the run. And we have not been able to stop the run in Dallas for go all the way back to the playoff game against the Rams when we had Butterball Anderson just ripping us, and it's not really stopped. So I'm going to go with yes. I think defensive line should probably be the first priority, and I think you're onto something there, Lunatic. I think with Dan Quinn and his history, I'm going to agree with you there. I think it will be the priority for him moving forward. Mary, fatty time. Where's our guy? We're missing our guy for fatty time.
Yeah, where's Mark Canner? Hopefully, I would think so that he's immediately going to say, you know what. Looking at this free agency, these are some guys we need to look at, and then still draft somebody because it's been neglected for so long. I saw somebody on Twitter, Cowboys Insider. I felt like he was like channeling his inner Booger McFarland because he was saying, "Oh, with Dan Quinn being hired, we'll need to upgrade the personnel." I'm like. I need to upgrade DT and safety. I'm like, we kind of needed to upgrade DT and safety way before we were going to hire Dan Quinn. No matter who we were going to hire, we need to upgrade DT and safety. So, I mean, after seeing those numbers, of why Mike Nolan got fired partially in previous years before, there's no way you can look at this team and not think about the DL position first.
Yeah, I totally agree. Spoon, what do you think? You think it's going to be that one tech over that rangy free safety for Dan Quinn as he gets in here?
Yeah, you have to. Listen, we all saw the Rams game in the playoffs. We saw the whole season this year. We need somebody to plug up that middle. We need to be very aggressive. Help out, free up D-Law a little bit. And Randy Gregory, those guys are getting clogged up because that whole middle is no good. Tristan Hill, like I said, I was very hard on him, and you guys were saying, Spoonie, take it easy. And, before he got hurt this season, he was showing a lot of promise. So it makes me feel that we could be that one technique away in that position for us to have a nice solid line that could definitely be a force to be reckoned with. And then when you add the depth behind that, listen, I read today that Jerry Jones said today on a report that he still had high hope for Aldon Smith to still return even in this type of defense. So, he solid with this, putting his hands in the dirt. And as long as you have that middle secure, your playmakers on the outside could do their job. So, yes.
And your linebackers too. Your linebackers can do their
be
thing,
a little
hopefully.
free. Yeah, big time. Here's what I think as well. This is music to Stephen Jones's ears. What's going to cost more free agency? A one tech or a free safety? The one tech. So even if maybe Dan Quinn wanted to go out here, maybe splurge on a Simmons or something, he'll take what he can get. It seems like, hey, I got this pie right here. And you can go say a Dalvin Tomlinson. Yeah, you already know.
I don't want to hear the word pie ever again.
Yeah, I got this pie right here. And you can go get you a Dalvin Tomlinson, or you can go get you a Puna. You want to get you this one tech. I can get you a one tech with this pie because we got to pay that. I get you this, but that Justin Simmons and those shiny things at free safety, I can't do that. So I think even not just his history of a defensive line coach and how bad we need a defensive tackle. I think the way that the salary cap set up in Steven's mind and how he likes to spend money via free agency, it also lines up with the signing pockets of what Steven wants to do, because that one tech's going to be marginally cheaper than a true to life rangy free safety. Period. Oh, we got this right here. There's a Puna. Puna, as I just talked about. And Jazz Slayton and be psyched. Need to get a free agent and draft one regardless. And that's kind of across the board, including D-line, linebacker, cornerback, safety.
All of them.
It's kind of across the board.
Draft one. Sign one, draft one. Draft one.
Got to. and the thing about this, the one thing I will say about this, they have done the one thing I'll say in free agency, they do a pretty good job of covering their bases. Right. Where they're just not backed into a corner of having to sign somebody or draft somebody, excuse me. So that's definitely some things to look at moving forward. The other thing over here with old Joe Wiz, we're talking about being the secondary coach and things he can bring to the table. And this is kind of the entire coaching staff myself. When you bring a guy in, or we're talking about a defensive coordinator, I mean, I'd like for him to just go ahead and get his guys. I don't know about this mismatch. Okay, so you got Dan Quinn in here. All right. You got your secondary / passing game coordinator as well. Okay. He's going to get to hire his defensive line coach. All right. Sounds like Al Harris is going to stay. But I mean, what about this linebacker? I mean, just in general, for me, man, wipe the slate clean and let Dan Quinn bring in all of his guys. Okay. It's, you're keeping George Edwards in some kind of capacity, even though he interviewed for the defensive coordinator, and then we kind of start talking about these when we talk about Edwards, who did some 3-4, also some 4-3 up in Minnesota. And then you talk about Joe Whitt, who did some 3-4 and also some 4-3. We know the head coach is a 3-4 kind of guy, whatever. And it's kind of this mixed matchup where we got some 4-3 under guys on this staff, and we kind of got some 3-4 disciplined guys on this staff. For me, because even to bring like Giff, let me just go and transition into that, because they're interviewing Giff Smith, the former D line coach from the Los Angeles Chargers. What do they run, Spoon?
They run the 3-4. 3-4. But well, here's the thing with Giff. I have a clip to show you guys. You gotta mind me putting up there what you're gonna get in Giff. Little something small, ain't too crazy. Excuse me.
Go first to that angle, gain a little ground. You got me? Now the condition drill was be sharp with our feet. Here we go. Right there, gain ground. Here we go. Hey! Come on, quickly. Damn it, right there you go. Hey! Here we go. There you go. Be strong right there. Keep them out of your legs. Lock it out. Back pedal, drive. As you come off the last.
So just a little something, something you might get out of him. He's coached in a lot of for the Buffalo Bills, also who ran the 4-3 defense back in 2012. So he's had a lot of experience with some players who play the line, whether he's handling the dirt or whether it's the Chargers who ran the 3-4. I like that experience. When you have a guy with that type of experience, it's like he's ready to work with whatever you're gonna throw at him, whatever you got, he's gonna work with you. And that listen, I love Tomasulo, who was one of my favorite guys last year. I thought Leon Lett would have been promoted, but again, the difference is, yes, they going with experience, long type hardcore experience. And if he gets the job, I'll be excited for that. Definitely for this line that we still got a fairly young line we have here. So I like that experience. Listen, hopefully he could turn somebody into a somewhat what Joey Bosa is. Who knows? But I like that.
Yeah, I mean, right. And the thing is, the thing with Giff is, and the same thing with Joe Whitt, and what I'm tuning into here, a lot of these guys are renowned for being great teachers of the game.
Exactly.
Right. And so as verse to, we're bringing in guys that can coach, we're bringing in guys that can teach as well. And apparently there was a big issue last year. Once again, we kind of heard those rumblings. These guys aren't very good teachers, yada, yada, yada. That's underneath the bridge. Some of those guys are out of here now, right? But these guys that they're bringing in, what they hang their hat on around the league and what it's talked about, the Giff Smith, if he does get hired, who's already in the building, and even Dan Quinn to a certain extent, is they're great teachers of the game as well. They're not just coaches. So, these are the things that I look at, the small things that might make a difference with some of these young guys that you talked about, Spoon, that makes it even better for them moving forward. Again, he's getting to pick this guy, which I'm okay. Again, he's done some 3-4. He's going to come over here this 4-3 under. Now, and the thing about the 4-3 under is you kind of have this position called the Leo position where the guy on the other end kind of stands up a little bit, doesn't quite have his hand in the dirt. And I want to kind of bring this up because we did have a question about Bradley Anah a little bit earlier. And that's the thing that I talked about. The biggest thing when I saw this was, I'm like, okay, so automatically in my head, well, Randy Gregory and Bradley Anah opens up the window for them. Right? It opens up the window. Not that Gregory can play either or. We already know that. And part of the reason that Tom Tusula is gone is he didn't play Randy Gregory enough. That's been on record now. So
and we were all pissed.
Yes, very much so. Very, very much so. So now I think we're going to see the Leo, and that's where you're going to see Bradley and I, because they had no look. This prior coaching just wasn't going to put Bradley and I with his hand into the dirt. It just wasn't. And within this, and this is another reason why this hiring matches up with what you have in house, because you take a Bradley and I with that Leo position. Well, now you got a spot where you can feel comfortable about getting Bradley and I on the field and do what he does best. Put these guys in their best way to go forward. Michael Manning in the defense. That's your DeMarcus Law all of a sudden, right? Who can kind of rotate around, do some different things for you. And again, Gregory. Now, if Alden Smith comes back, I didn't think he would stay, but Alden would also fit into that Leo position as well. So you have a good rotation of guys that go get the quarterback. And look, if you need to, if D-Law needs a blow, sure, you can slide Gregory over to the other side with the stand in the dirt and then stand in a Nah or Alden Smith up on the other side. So it gives you flexibility within the defense. And then, of course, the other thing, too, this 4-3 under that I'm happy about, that I think is going to help Jalen Smith a ton, is that under linebacker is a little bit closer to the line. He's on the edge, right?
Yes.
So all of a sudden, look, all I need Jalen Smith to do is set the edge on the run or go get the quarterback. Or if I had to drop him into coverage, it's not in the middle no more. We know Jalen in the middle can't drop, but drop him into the flat. Right. We're going to give him a third of the field. Right.
But we still need a middle linebacker now.
Got to have a linebacker. Absolutely. I mean, I know Spoon's got a guy, but I'm with you, Mary. Yeah, definitely got to get a linebacker. I know this, and I told my guy, Big Game James, he's like, retire, become a linebacker coach. I was like, shoot, Sean Lee over here rubbing his hands like Birdman. He's like, oh, this scheme is my kind of party. I ain't going nowhere.
So you think he want to come back?
Okay. I think Sean Lee's about to look at this thing and be like, oh, this is what I've been waiting for. It's my kind of party, So I don't know exactly how that's going to work out. We'll kind of wait and see how it goes. But again, I think the scheme that they're bringing to the forefront matters a lot for what they had in-house in some of these players. And you take a Francis Bernard, who covers very well, who is a quick linebacker, that fits in the mold of the KJ Wrights, right? That they had up in Seattle. Like, these kind of things fit and they make sense when you start looking at the scheme as compared to what you can do, what our personnel is. And you're still right back to square one. Well, we need a one tech and a free safety. But it gets more players in positions, I think, to be more successful in a lot of ways. And this is going to be interesting to see what Giff brings to that.
One thing I want to say, okay, so first off, let me clarify. I think I mentioned Gus Bradley earlier. Completely.
Yeah.
I meant Giff Smith. But
yeah. I know you meant. And Smith worked with Bradley. And Smith worked with Bradley as well.
Yeah. But one thing I want to say about Giff Smith was, it was a long time ago, obviously by now, but what he did with Kyle Williams, the defensive tackle, made him all-pro 2010. So, we need all the help we can get, especially at the DT position. It's been neglected for way too long on this team. But obviously we need a 1 tech, but I'm just saying 3 tech, 1 tech. We need a guy who can get the best out of that whole position right there, because it's we putting DNs in the middle, putting linebackers in the middle, just whoever we can fit at the time. We need somebody who's really going to nurture that position, definitely.
Yeah, we have enough talent there. We need to get more out of the talent that's there. I definitely agree there, for sure. And, of course, the other reason, too, if you look at the Giff Smith coming in here, we talk about that Leo position. In the 3-4, it's called the jack. So, again, it's familiar. And I think, as Mendoza also said, the Leo / even the Bear fronts, I think we will see a lot of those kind of things coming forward. Because, I also saw a lot of this, we're going back when Chris Richard and Marinelli was here. In the 4-man, in the skeleton of things, to an extent, yes, but this is played way differently. And there's a lot of different things. And like I said, with the Leo position, with how you get that linebacker up when that safety is going to come down more. Because even whenever we had a Richard here, whatever, the safety was never truly all the way in the box. He was kind of in that rotation and not hiding. So it's definitely different. Don't think this is going to be the same kind of hybrid that we were running with Marinelli and.
Oh no, it's going to be different, definitely.
But especially where Chris was, that was the argument between him and Bloom the whole time, is that Chris Richard, they even run full defense the way he really wanted to run it. So basically, all you had was the same type of coach with the same type of ties as Quinn. That was it, but they never really ran it the way he wanted to. So I'm excited for this.
Yeah, and we don't know. We might be back here next year. Somebody, man, well, that didn't work.
Not calling wood.
Yeah, we could be, but here's the thing about it, and this is kind of what I've thought about the whole time is, and the thing that I talked about on when we laid the season to rest, and I talked about this. To me, we're already better defensively because here we are, January 13th, and we know exactly who we are defensively now. We know what we're going to run. We know everybody can start learning their parts. They know what they got to do in everything. This isn't this weird hybrid. We're going to get it on the fly, figure it out, different things of that ilk. Like, we know concisely on January 13th, hey, this is what we're going to do, guys. And we can build a plan around that from now through August to get this defense right and rolling. Something
we all kind of were unsure or worried about the last time we all got on together was we weren't sure if they were gonna. Most of us, I think it was consistency. Whatever, tongue tied. Drinking rosé here. I'm drinking rosé here.
Consistently.
But we kind of agreed that we weren't sure if they were going to get rid of Mike Nolan, and didn't know how. Even if they didn't know how long it was going to take. But now at least it's happened. And, we all kind of were like, whoa, okay, so it happened. And then they hired someone pretty quickly. So like you said, we know now it's early. We know the guys that are going to be here, at least that they can start, thinking about those things. And as soon as all of this is done and free agency starts, it should be I feel like we should not wait until, just like Scott said, I said it earlier, you need personnel. So it shouldn't be waiting until the 3rd or 4th wave for free agency.
No, you got to get active the first 2 waves.
Yeah. And just go. And then when the draft gets here, you're not trying to plug holes that you should have plugged at the beginning of free agency.
100%.
All right. Well, Spoony, what do you think there, Spoon? Future of the defense. You
Michael, that was my sister-in-law. We both have 5 heads. Well, hers is smaller than mine, I think.
Oh, good. Oh, five head. We and we'll never know if she'll ever tell us.
Her name was Jasmine. That's Jasmine.
Yeah, we'll never know if Jasmine will ever give us what number Tony Dorsett wore or not. But yeah, neither here nor there. If you missed that show, my goodness, guys, y'all missed something. Future of the defense, though. Now with the 4-3 under the slash bear front, for me, I look at things like with this, because it likes a press and bail technique, and I think that works very well for what Diggs does. Obviously, I think Cheeto was very good on that. Can do those things as well. Whether they're getting back in the build or not, we'll have to wait and see, right? But I mean, the future of the defense, Spoon. Overall, where do you think this thing is headed?
I mean, I think it's heading in the right direction, BJ. I think, listen, you can go ahead and keep Cheetah for a 1 or 2 year deal. You definitely can. It would definitely help you on the NFL draft and in free agency as well. You could keep Anthony Brown there as well. I think those three could definitely play in that scheme. You got Donovan Wilson. It's just like Miss Mariella just came out and said, you got to go into free agency not waiting, not bypassing that first and second wave. You got to hit and get the guy. If you can get yourself a Davin Thomason or Mendoza, as he mentioned, Puno Ford, if you can get any of those guys within that first 2 weeks of free agency, you pretty much did a lot right there. You pretty much locked it down where in the NFL draft, you can sit back comfortable and you could do whatever you want to do. Like, again, yes, you got the guys last year like Poe and what's his name? McCoy. Yeah, McCoy and everything. But at the end of the day, let's be honest. At the NFL draft, we got Neville Gallimore. Thank God we got Neville Gallimore, and he's kind of grown up. We don't want to
shown some flashes,
right? We don't want to repeat those things, but we want to be aggressive and get yourself some guys. That's what Stevie Jones needs to do. So I think with this coaching staff, veteran staff to improving. And I know Jerry is on top of Steven. I honestly think he is this time around. You got to go out there and get it. If you get the right pieces, you're fine. Listen, BJ and Mary, I have a draft crush on a particular player.
Okay.
He just catches my eyes, and I just can't stop thinking about him on this Dallas Cowboys roster. I really, really can't. And we got LVE. Yeah, we got Jalen Smith, but I think this guy here can be something special. I think this guy could be the Bobby Wagner of the Seattle of the Legion of Boom. I'm talking about Mr. Xavier Collins out of Tulsa. I'm really in love with
I've heard about him.
260 pounds, could play any type of defense. He can cover, he can blitz, he can do whatever. And again, he's 6'4", 260. He has that size, he has the speed. Listen, I like Jalen, I like LVE, but I think this guy is totally different. Totally different. Is he a top 10 pick? No, but I guarantee you, if you do one of those, once he plays about the first couple of years of the season, people will look back and say, you know what? He might have been the best linebacker in the draft ahead of Michael Parsons out of Penn State. Or he might have been worth a top 10 pick. I love this guy to be in a Cowboy uniform playing on that defense. Big difference.
That's the Tulsa guy?
Yes.
Wait, so where would you put him, though? Where would you put him?
I would put him in the middle. I'll put him right in the middle because I think
like bottom first, are you saying, or like top?
No,
guys.
Yeah.
Mary, I would want to maybe, knowing me, I'm gonna be honest with you, I would take him at 10. Some mobs got
okay, Spoonie. This is where you need to be wrapping down right here. DJ, don't.
I have a crush. Is he a top 10 pick? No, he's not. He's really not. Listen, the smart thing for you to do would drop back maybe like 15 or 19. If you can, I tell you right now, the reason why I wouldn't want to risk it because a team like the New York Giants, Pittsburgh Steelers, and they need linebackers. And I'm telling you right now, this kid's gonna be something special.
I think
moving up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the thing about him is he's kind of considered a early second round pick, but I think he's going to be one of those guys that's going to rise as the process goes.
Yes,
so he's probably a top 10 of the second round pick currently. Is kind of where he's graded out at. But I think as the process happens, I think he's going to be old Dickie Votto. He's a high riser, and he's going to kind of come up through there. Got a question from the lunatic. I'm not even drinking rose. I'm just drinking coffee. Jeez. What do you expect to improve more next season? Our run defense or pass defense or our takeaways? Takeaways are pretty good at the end of the year, right? For me, I don't know what will. Here's what I think needs to happen is the run defense. I think we need to finally shore up the run defense. So I'm hoping we improve the most on the run defense next year. Mary, what do you think?
I'm right there with you. I mean, what I expect. I mean, I really don't know what to expect, to be honest. I'm just hoping that everything gets better. But I think for our team's sake and for my sanity, that it's the run defense.
Spoon?
Yeah, run defense. Always the run defense. I know the pass defense will get better because of the guys we have there who know how to react to the ball and have great instincts. But definitely the run defense. That's been the most killer of all. So run defense.
Big, yeah. I mean, hopefully all of it, right?
Yes.
You know, again, I think the biggest thing as we talk about this offense and what it can do, can this defense be somewhere ranked between 13 and 17? Can the defense just get between 13 and 17, maybe give up just an average of 21, 22 points? And I think if they're able to do those things, I think that's going to bode us very well moving forward, as a team, as they're learning this new scheme and everything that's going on. Says, Steven shakes it up a little bit. And
one thing before you move on.
Go ahead.
Also, too, I mean, we got to remember that our secondary for like stretches of the year, they were all injured as well, even though they never were all officially out. I mean, we had Jordan Lewis come back after a while, Cheeto come back after a while. We lost Diggs for a while. We were just rotating guys in, guys from off the street, guys from the practice squad at certain times during the year. So, I mean, we lost Anthony Brown too. I think he had ribs and some other injury. So, I mean, at some point we lost all our starters at some point.
Yeah, I mean, from week one, it's like from week one, we didn't get our full complement of cornerbacks again to like damn near week 10. Like it was week 1 and then only week 10. And then somebody and then that's when Anthony Brown got hurt. So it was.
So you got to keep that in mind too. Is hopefully you're not dealing with that level of injuries again.
Right. Hall says, if Steven shakes things up a little bit by getting what we need early and not basement players, then the bits and pieces we don't need becomes more of a best available player. And look, you already know there's not a defensive guy at 10 I'd take. I'm Team Pitts. I'm sticking there until I can see it otherwise. My cornerback list has shifted a little bit. I think I got Horn as my number 1 currently now. But hey, man, if Pitts is on the board, sign me up. There's not a better guy. I'm sorry. There's just not. And there's starting to be things come out now about Parsons that's going to give me pause on Parsons because I was kind of like Parsons maybe, but I think I'm off the Parsons wagon. Hey, man, again, I'm Pitts at 10. Look, you can tell me team trade down. The one thing I don't get, and we're getting a little off track here as we're talking about this new coaching staff and everything, is I don't want an offensive lineman in the first round unless Sue Wells there at 10. I'm not taking offensive lineman in the first round. Period. Point blank.
This is deja vu again. This is deja vu.
I mean, I agree. I mean, I like what you said as far as getting there early, first and second wave, not the third, because the last thing any team should do, not just the Cowboys, is go into the draft thinking we need this, and then just reaching for a guy because he's there and you feel like you need to fill that position. I mean, it's funny because BJ was all about CeeDee Lamb even before the draft. Last year, he was like, give me Lamb. And the Cowboys even said, we aren't interviewing him because there's no way he's going to fall that far. And I thought, still thinking about the past coaching staff, I'm thinking even if he is there, there's a possibility they might not even take him. They might just go with, they wanted Chason. They were all in on Chason, even though a lot of us were kind of like, And so, but then they took him and, they got a lot of heat from some of the media, some rival fans, like, you need defense. But it's like, yeah, we need defense. But was that guy going to turn us from 31 or 32 to 15.
There's no Chase, and again, and that's why I tell people there's no Chase Young, there's no Jalen Ramsey, there's no defensive stud that could come in here day one. And look, we went and got CeeDee Lamb and didn't trade or do anything, and we ended up with Diggs. Look what he did. First cornerback to have 3 interceptions since Brandon Carr. Then in the third round, you went and got Gallimore. It took him a while to get him on the field, but you saw how Gallimore played. And again, so I tell everyone, even if it happens to be Pitts, I'm not saying that it is, or if it's offensive tackle, there are guys in this draft in the second or third round that will help this defense immediately. But we need to see, though, as Mary, you spoke about earlier, and also in the chat, is you have to get active day one and day two of free agency. And we got to do something because the biggest thing, we talk about this one tech. You get a one tech. You can't get him in the first round. Maybe round 2. Round 3 is probably the sweet spot for me for one tech. But there is not a rangy center field free safety in this draft. I'm sorry. I like the kid from TCU, but he's not going to come in and be a day one starter as far as I'm concerned. So I like the kid from FSU. I like him as well, but I don't think he's a day one come-in starter. I need a bridge guy. So, again, I want to see them get proactive and do things to go handle it. I mean, Jerry's not getting no younger, right? Here's what I need, ladies and gentlemen. I need Jerry Jones, 90s Jerry Jones, in that mink fur coat on the sideline swagger in free agency is what I need. I need that old man Jerry Jones. I'm going to go get, you know what? I don't care that my son put me up and try to choke me out. I'm signing Deion Sanders. I need that kind of swagger in free agency, smartly, within reason, but still, let's change it up a little bit. We know the defense is where it said we were ranked 31st, I think.
Yeah.
Let's change it up.
Wait, who ended up behind us is what my question is.
I think it was the Falcons, but we're not talking about that. New day in Tampa Bay or whatever they say. Right. I'm not worried about that. But again, for me, I'm just saying, hey, you don't have enough draft picks. I don't care if you go and draft defense every single pick this draft. I don't care. It's not going to be enough to fix this defense. It's just not. You have to go and get proactive in free agency or via trade. I ain't talking about these crazy Spoony Route 33 trades last year. I'm just saying, or via trade, go get you some guys in here to do something. For me, if you're just dead set of getting defense at number 10, then go trade it for somebody that's already proven and young in the league. Hello, Quentin Williams.
It's funny. It's funny with the Kyle Pitts situation because I remember Miss Mary, she posted this. This was sometime before the season, before it ended. She's like, "Hey guys, about this Kyle Pitts," and everybody was kind of.
Hey, but back then I was mad because we were like top 4 or 5 though.
Right. Number 4 or 5. It's funny, but it's like deja vu all over again. It's funny because I remember last year when BJ posted about CeeDee Lamb, folks was like, "BJ, all right, you're dreaming, right?" It's like we've seen this all over again now. So it's like now, as we had number 10th pick overall. It doesn't make sense for me. I'm with BJ. I'm with Marion. It makes a lot of sense because at the end of the day, I don't think there is a defender in this NFL draft that's like a Chase Young or Ramsey or anything like that. I would take Pitts. Why I would take Pitts? At the end of the day,
look, we still got red zone issues.
Yeah, listen, we can score more points. Listen, here's the thing. You see the Chiefs? You think the Chiefs? You think the Kansas City Chiefs are saying, "No, we didn't need you. We didn't need you, Le'Veon Bell. We got Clyde Hilaire. We got too many running backs." No. TJ Sharp, Taji Sharp, we don't need you. We got our receivers. No, you can never have enough weapons. And here's the thing. Kyle Pitts, in my opinion, he's way more talented than Schultz and Blake Jarwin. Way more. And here's the thing. It helps out your red zone, which is very important. They're comparing this guy right to Darren Waller. He's only 21 years old. Already a Pro Bowl tight end. So what I'm saying, my thing is this, and he can line up slot, outside, tight end spot, whatever you want. You got to go with the best play, the BPA, best play available. Never a need, never a reach. Some people say Surtain from Alabama. Well, here's the thing. Surtain may be the most ready cornerback to play. Right. I mean, listen, as Alabama, Nick Saban. But is he the most talented? No. J.C. Horn, in my opinion, the minute he runs that 4.3 at the combine, you're going to see a lot of shift, a lot of mocks changing where you're going to have J.C. Horn being the best cornerback taken and not 13. So, end of the day, Go with the best player available. Then second round to the 7th, we all got to trust in Willie McClay. Those are rounds that make up your team the most. And again, you hit on last year. Have that faith that he's going to do it again.
Yeah, we gotta have Jerry Jones on the yacht for the draft, though. That's
the yacht is the sweet spot.
The yacht is the sweet spot for the draft. So let me ask you this: you're sitting at 10, right? You're sitting at 10. Are you taking BPA, which could be Pitts, or it could be, say, Slater, the offensive tackle, or it could be Parsons, any player that you want, right? That's within reason. Are you sitting at 10 and taking that player, or would you be more willing to flip that number 10 pick for Quentin Williams?
Well, I think for Quinn Williams, I think I said this last time we spoke.
Okay.
I think they have to give us something else extra, like another pick or a player. Like 10 to me, I mean, we're still gonna have to pay him. And like, if it was Aaron Donald, that's one thing. But I think with him, I would do it if there was like extra compensation. 10 is high. It's still
it's high.
It's high.
It is high.
Especially for the Jets, they can probably get one of those top receivers they want, possibly an O-lineman that they want. Like, I need something extra for that. If I'm gonna do that. But
Quentin in a 4th, Quentin in a 3rd, Quentin in a 2nd.
Second. Give me a second, man.
Okay. All right, Quentin in a 2nd.
If you're getting if you're getting number 10, man, I feel like that's fair. If you're getting 10.
Spoon, you drafted or you flipping the first for Quentin?
Quinn, welcome to the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
I'm making the trade. Listen, 23 years old, top 5 pick. In my opinion, he will be the second best player on that defensive line, next to D-Law. If Randy Gregory, that's tough.
I want that second pick. I want that second pick if I take it.
I mean, by all means, sure.
Because then I can get one of my CBs or safety or my deep tackle.
Sure, I'll take some extra compensation on the back end, Mary.
Yeah,
absolutely. My name is Jimmy. I'll take all you can give me. Come on now. It's just one of those things of I'm looking. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to the Cowboys front office, obviously getting active in free agency. But on top of that, if you're really trying to fix this defense, don't just stick it in and just take a guy. I don't want to draft a cornerback just because we got to get a cornerback. If we can take that pick and flip it into a proven commodity that's going to walk in day one and help this defense, then we should be talking about that. And we should be doing those things. Now, look, sure, Quentin was rumored to be, he could have been had at the trade deadline. He might not be. Who knows, right? I mean, that was a trade deadline. I mean, we're 6 months removed from that. Who knows where that is, right? Where that's going to move by the time we get to the draft. So, again, I want to put in the process or plant the seed of no matter what's on the board at 10, if there's a proven player commodity that we can take that pick and flip it for, they shouldn't be opposed to doing that.
Agreed.
I get it. Yeah, if you do draft the guy, you get the 5th-year option. There's extra stuff that comes along with that. I understand that, but it's not going to be as much impact for this defense right away. And as we always talk about, at the end of the day, for the most part, the draft is a crapshoot. Sure, there are proven guys that you think are going to be really good there, but that cornerback situation is finicky for me, man. Sure, I would love for there to be a Derwin James. Man, if there was a Derwin James in this draft, sign me up.
Without the injuries.
Let's go get it. Without the injuries, right. Jalen Ramsey, sure, sign me up.
Without the sass.
Yeah, with the Aaron Donald. The Aaron Donald. Sure. The Aaron Donalds. Sure, sign me up. And, unfortunately for us in this draft, it's just not available. It's a terrible situation.
Sorry, guys.
You're fine. It's just a terrible situation when we're sitting here at 10 and there's not like, this is the guy. Because even if you got in range at 7 or 8, okay, let's pull the trigger and make it happen. It's not there. So I wanted to be creative, get outside the box with that 10th pick. If they go get somebody, then shit, go get them. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask for? Look, I'm trying to fix it. Look, I don't want this defense to take 2 or 3 years.
Look, we got this window. Our offense, you signed Dak. to his 4 or 5 year deal. We got Zeke, we got Amari, we got CD. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with Gallup, but and then our O linemen, they're getting a little. He's got 1 more year. Our O linemen, they're getting a little more up in the years. Injuries starting to creep in. So this is a time where this next 1 to 2 year window where you should just go all in. Go all in on that defense where you've neglected for so long.
Right.
Yeah.
And get it done.
And even on top of that, we're looking at these playoffs. What if our defense if we had our quarterback and our defense was in the right state of mind? Who scares you in these playoffs right now?
Yeah. Nobody.
I mean, honestly, the NFC is to be had, but you have to go into it and really get after it. And as Steven likes to say, we're going to roll up our sleeves and get to work. Okay, well, then show me. Roll up your sleeves to get to work. Okay, you hired. I like who you hired. I think it fits what we have personnel-wise and helps some of the personnel even more some. Okay, but that's only half the battle because we need these players still to come in here to make this thing go. We know the offense is ready as long as there's not injuries. Even with the offensive line, here's the thing, even with the offensive line injuries, if Dak doesn't get hurt, who thinks we're not in the playoffs? We're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
In this division this year, we would have been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So let's do the work. You have the capabilities. And I've seen some people already say, the salary cap, da-da-da. No, if you get Dak still done and out of the way, you can make things happen with it. Look, Amari Cooper's got a fail-safe already to trigger money and free up money in the cap already. Mm-hmm. And they can pull that trigger anytime they want to. Yeah. So don't hide behind the cap. Go after to make it happen. And whether that's drafting at 10 or trading that pick for someone to help this defense right now, because if you can get this defense, it's a hard jump, right? From 31, 32 up to 15. That's great. It takes players, not just draft picks. It takes players.
Listen,
I like the Lunatics question. I don't know if y'all saw it about 2017. And he said, we picked Cheeto in second, J. Lou in third, X-Will in sixth. Do you see them taking the same number of DBs in this draft? I do.
Spoon?
Well, here's the thing. You already got Diggs. You really have Diggs. You really have Anthony Brown. Mm-hmm. We got Rashad Robinson the second. We don't even know what they're gonna do with him yet.
You mean Reggie?
Excuse me, Reggie. Excuse me,
right.
Reggie. And we don't even know.
Let me pause you on that. Let me pause you on that. I hope. Here's what I hope for Reggie Robinson the second. Mm-hmm. I hope this coaching staff will do for him as Chris Richard coming on did for Byron.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope that DQ comes in here and says, that safety miss, no, sir. Get back over here to corner. This is where you're going to be. But continue. I just want to jump in on that.
So I'm going to say no. I really do think they're going to address the safety and free agent. I'm really – it may not be the guy that we want in Simmons, but it's so many solid guys out there. Hey, listen, maybe Keen O'Neal may come over from Atlanta. Maybe he may come by. There's familiarity with him and Quinn. So, and he played with Joe Whitt, who was over there as well as a secondary coach. So that's a possibility. I think in that draft, they didn't touch really nobody in free agency. They went straight off the draft process with that. So I'm gonna say no. I think they're gonna address some of those needs in free agency and then have a solid draft.
I think I'm going to go no as well, just because I think we need too many things on defense.
Right.
Is where I'm at. Because if you think about the time the coaching staff was here, and you look at who was across that defensive line, and Rob Marinelli, he can turn water into wine and everything with the defensive line is what they always talked about. And the linebackers are kind of already set and whatnot, but you really, really, really needed to get in here and get after the cornerback position, right, in the safety position. So I think no, just because of where we're set, because we got to get a linebacker, right? Yeah. We're talking about the one tech, right? We're talking about we possibly need a safety. There's only so many picks, and this is my biggest reason of why it's different from 17 to now. We're 17. We needed to flip our cornerbacks, right? We got rid of Scandrick. We got rid of I guess that was Cars last year, maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly, right? Yeah. It was Cars, Scandrick,
we lost
Claiborne.
Church, I think we lost.
Yeah. So it was by, we had flipped so much, so we had to go into the draft and do that. As compared to now, I don't think it's that kind of situation, because you did spend a pick on a corner last year. You got Brown. You got candidate that's coming back who we signed, You know, let's see how he fits into the mold. We got Reggie Robinson the second to come over here, maybe do something. We'll see what happens with Cheeto and whatnot. But I think it's going to be a no just because that D-line isn't set right now.
Right.
We know we got to do something at linebacker and wait to be seen as it pertains to the safety position, because irregardless, if you bring a free safety in here, that locker room for that position is thin. They still have to go get them a safety in this draft, in my opinion.
Right.
So even if you know, no Cheeto's not back, J-Lou's not back, you still think they won't spend at least? I mean, we have 10 picks.
We have we got. And,
so you don't think they'll spend at least 3 on DBs if we don't re-sign any of those guys? I mean, definitely it will depend on free agency, obviously, but
yeah. See, to me, this thing kind of lines up. It's funny because it kind of lines up to me the same kind of way. They could take a corner at 10 for sure. If they take a corner at 10, Mary, you might be able to talk me into maybe they end up getting 3, because I think they're actually going to get a safety. So that's 2 right there. The rest of the draft, okay, hey, we're going to take another one. But to me, this draft kind of lines up the same way. I could see them going corner in 2nd and then D-line in 3rd. But the key about this year is you have 2 3rds and 2 4ths. And this is what I love about this draft, because the meat of these prospects are kind of in those 2 to 4 rounds, and we have 5 picks. Again, getting back to being aggressive. Well, don't just sit there with a 2nd, 2 3rds, and 2 4ths. How about let's go get 2 second-round picks? Let's leverage some of these extra picks, and let's go ahead and move up the board. For me, I'm taking the 1st-round pick out of here. I'm just talking about rounds 2 through 4. To me, the Cowboys need to get aggressive and walk out of 2 through 4 with 2 seconds and a 3rd. To me,
I want to add this in, if I may. We need linebackers. Well, there's a guy out there, KJ Wright, who will be a free agent. I think be too expensive.
Oh yeah, we can't afford that, man.
I mean,
whether they're not going to spend that much on him. I know that.
Nah, it won't be much. But if you get it for the right price, that would be a type of guy. Because I always say when you have a new defensive coach or any new coach, you know, you always want to bring somebody who knows your scheme, and basically it kind of spills off on the new guys who haven't seen the scheme at all. They're still learning about your scheme. So to me, that would be a great fit if they could bring it back a KJ Wright. Oh, what's the other linebacker we had signed? Oh my God, what was his name? We signed him the last season, and then we let him go, and we was hoping to bring him back. He played for the Raiders and Seattle.
Malcolm Smith.
It's another guy who's familiar with the scheme of with the Quinn scheme. So it's guys like that. If you could plug those guys in.
Yeah, I thought it was very foolish for us not to bring him back. I spoke about that a lot during the offseason. That we didn't bring him back was stupid. I'm going to discuss here from Morris. How do you feel about Marcus May from the Jets? I mean, to me, it sounds like a Cowboys kind of signing. I've seen some people kind of say, well, he's more of a strong than a free. But if you go back to whenever Jamal Adams was there, Marcus May played free safety and played it pretty damn well. He has enough range to get the job done.
He has played free safety.
Yeah, he has definitely played free safety. He has a range to get it done. And see, to me, that's that we're going to sign Marcus May, and then in that draft, go get some guys. It's kind of how I would feel about that. I think we'll get a guy, period. But the timeline might be a little bit shorter with the draft pick to Marcus May, depending on some of these other names that we've talked about. But yeah, Marcus May would be an awesome addition, and I think he would get the job. He would fit the bill for what we want to do defensively.
Love it.
Okay.
It's going to be tough because the Jets already said
he'd be cheaper than Simmons, so you know.
Well,
that's right.
Steven likes cheap. Steven likes cheap. You know.
Well, the Jets came out and said they're going to make a priority to sign him.
Most of the time, me and Steven are here. Most of the time, we're here. But you know,
Daddy, you need to go to the office. There you go. That's what it needs. That's what needs to happen.
Well, again, you know, and back to the Marcus May. I mean, here's the thing. Steven walks in and looks at and him and you know they call old Dan Quinn in and say, look, I can get you Marcus May and Dalvin Tomlinson, or you want Justin Simmons, right? And at that point, I'm sure Dan Quinn's like, well, you know, I like Simmons, but yeah, you know what? Go give me the 2 for 1. Let me go get the 2 for 1 instead. So that's definitely, again, as the question was earlier, is it going to be D-line over free safety? It lines up two ways, as I said. It lines up with A, Dan Quinn coach the defensive line, and B, Stephen Jones can get you a nice, sturdy one tech cheaper than going out here and getting a Justin Simmons, if you will.
Listen, how about this? Give me Mendoza's guy, Puna Ford.
Yeah.
I don't think it will be cheap. I mean, I don't think it'll be expensive, and give me Simmons. I'll be happy with that. Thomas,
not going to happen,
money.
Spoon, you're greedy.
I am greedy.
Steven would kick you out the room. He'd be like, get out of here, and come back later when you figured out how you like to do the cap over here at Cowboys Nation.
Hey, take your ass back to Mesquite. We're in Frisco, sir. Take your ass back to Mesquite. But yeah, I mean, again, as Langston said as well. I mean, we are. I mean, I don't think that's been talked about enough. I do think we definitely look. As we talked about the scheme helping Jalen, getting him in that 4-3 under, or the Sam linebacker closer to the line is going to help him tremendously. But yeah, I mean, you look at the rest of the pool here. I think you're going to see the move. To me, I would like to see the move of LVE over to the Whitt, and then find this, that middle, that true middle, right? The true Mike. I think Sean Lee's going to look at this thing and be like, this is my kind of party, my kind of scheme. I think you're going to see Sean Lee come back. Now we don't know how long it's going to happen, but even with all that coming together, yeah, I mean, now what about the speaking of linebacker, we're talking about second round. There's a linebacker out there in Mizzou, Spoony.
Yeah, Nick, Nothing. Yeah. And I like him. He's 6 feet, I like him. I just don't like his size. Tackle machine. I like Xavier Collins, man. That's my guy right there.
Hear about this.
He's a good linebacker machine. He's pretty much what you want in that middle. But again, as like I said before, I want to get the type of size that Quinn had in Seattle versus what he had in Atlanta. That's the key thing. And in Atlanta, they switched schemes too much. In Seattle, they stuck to one thing, and it really helped out his team. So, but I gave you another draft nugget. Well, being that we got our defensive coordinator, there's a certain guy in Florida State where he has the size of a certain safety that Quinn used to have in Seattle and Cam Chancellor. Hasim Nasruddin, part of I said his name wrong, 6'4", safety. Listen, end of the day, he could play the box, and we could put Donovan Wilson at free. Because Donovan Wilson can't play the free safety spot. He can run back there. So it's
going to be see how they play that out.
A lot of choices we could make in this draft coming up.
Yeah, I mean, how would you feel about Tashawn Gibson or Tart obviously from the 49ers? I mean, for me personally, man, I was big on Gibson. I wanted to get Gibson actually a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's kind of bounced around a little bit. Had a good year, though, this year. He's definitely played good this year. It definitely would be a signing, a Cowboys top signing, with drafting someone to take over. I don't know, Tart. He's cool. I don't know. I mean, he's okay over there in San Francisco. I think Gibson makes more sense for this defense than Tart. I think someone's going to fall in love with Tart and probably pay him a little extra. So I could see Gibson, aging veteran, come in, draft a guy, right? He'd be that, we're going to cover ourselves no matter what, and he'd be.
But Tart is so that I think Tart is definitely strong, right? So you have to commit to putting Donovan at free. You do that,
right? And that's the biggest thing too is lining up these safeties that we're going to bring in this thing to do the right things as far as what the future holds for Donovan Wilson and what they see. And of course, some of that will come together, as we move along and see what's happening. Can Donovan play the free? I think he can, but I think he would be taken away. I mean, as I posted today in the group, the first safety since Roy Williams with over 2 sacks, the interceptions, the forced fumbles. So look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Leave him as the strong. Go find us a free.
Yeah.
Don't mess it up. Let's stick with what works there for sure. But with that being said, man, that is our time. We ran over a little bit, man. We appreciate the questions and everything. Going to pay a little bit of bills here, man. If you're on Facebook, by all means, shoot over to YouTube. Stargate Podcast is the channel. Sub, hit that notification bell. We appreciate y'all as always. Mary, Tell them where they can find you now.
Yeah, on Twitter at Stargang Beauty, Facebook Mariella Bowers, on the Stargang page. Like and subscribe. YouTube as well, and the group. Please post, comment. We like to hear input, see what you guys are doing, see what you guys think. We value your opinion. Yeah, I change my handle all the time, but still the same as Stargang Beauty.
Yeah. Spoonie.
Oh, you can find me at
Spoonie881
on Twitter. And you know where I'm at. I'm at home with Cowboy Nation Love at Stargang. Listen, just have fun with us. It's gonna be a fun off season. I know we're gonna have some draft stuff coming up soon. Draft boards, mock drafts. This is the best time of the year where we can wait. So I just can't wait.
Yeah, no offense about it, man. Hey, look, the best thing right now that we can talk is, man, January 13th, we know the defense. We know what we're going to run. The one thing that I begged for leading as soon as the season was over was I wanted a clear, concise offseason. Let's get things lined up. Let's get them hammered out. They've handled the business in-house of getting the defense situated as far as coaches. They still got one more hire. We're going to see if they get that defensive line coach hired up. And then on the back door, that if the word is he'll have total control if he wants to get rid of anyone else. So we're looking right now to see if Giff Smith, former Los Angeles Chargers defensive line coach, is going to come over and be our D-line coach. And then we'll see if Dan Quinn wants to move on from anybody else and replace them. But that, for the most part, is set in stone. We know what it is. There's only one thing left to do now, guys, is go pay the quarterback.
Make it rain.
Make it rain. Trick. Yeah. Make it rain. Trick. Go sign. I'm sorry. I'm bad. I'm injured. I'm on injured reserve. I know I sound terrible. I've been on therapy. Sorry, y'all. But yes, go sign Dak, and we're good to go. Guys, I mean, everything I asked for before February, I don't know what I'll do. I don't know how to control myself if we actually get Dak done here before February, and the defense is set, and Dak's set, and we know exactly how much money we have without doing anything to any other contracts free for the salary cap. My goodness, sounds like a well-oiled machine over here in Frisco.
Super Bowl weekend.
Ooh.
Jeremy,
fair enough.
Jeremy.
Well, 4 years, 5 years, I don't care what it takes. Get it done. We will be back here, hopefully. Actually, let's go and pivot, because typically we do Tuesdays during the season. It is the off season. We're going to officially go into off season mode. We're going to be every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern with the Cowboys Report. Me and Spoon also will be starting. We're going to talk about it. Sometime in February, we're going to start the big board show. And we'll give you dates and times, and we'll let everybody know we're going to start doing the big board, putting that together and have a good time with that, man. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. Start getting pop. Man, get our YouTube channel up. We started it this year. We're actually over 100 subs. Man, can we get to I don't know. Can we get to 500 before the season starts? That's a good long stretch goal.
Make it happen.
From now to August, let's get to 500 subs. Stargate Podcast on the YouTube channel. And as always, you can find me at the bottom as it says, your_guy_Nicks on Twitter. Man, come give me a follow. Now that Mary's back on Twitter, we're going to have some fun.
Oh, yeah.
Catch y'all next Wednesday.